What is going on, everyone? How are you all doing? This is Yix here at Magnum Crypto, back again with another video. In today's video, we're going to be breaking down the charts. It's been a somewhat of a red day, so we need to break it down. So cue the intro and let's go. So firstly, let's have a look at the total market cap. Now, in the last 2 weeks, we smashed through the $2 trillion market cap, got all the way up to 2.3 trillion. Since then, massive rejection, all the way down below 2 trillion. And what's happening now is we're testing, of course this is market cap, this is not an actual chart of one particular coin, but it's testing a resistance level of around 1.7 trillion. If this holds, which is a good possibility, because you can see this is quite a strong high. If this holds and becomes a resistance area or a support area, then happy days, of course, we can turn around. This is basically the first level of support. If it breaks this though, we'll end up going closer to that $1.5 trillion zone. And you can see here there's a wick that just about taps that level. If that doesn't hold, this would be quite catastrophic and definitely very worrying. It will come down to about just below 1.5 trillion, which is the next support level at 1.35 trillion. But of course, this is the market cap. You can't really make a proper assessment or analysis from that. We got to go to the actual big daddy of the market, and that is Bitcoin. And I've mentioned this in many of my breakdowns, and that is the fact that, you know, during the previous bull run and any previous bull run, you have a lot of drawdowns of 20 to 35%, and this happens many times throughout the bull run. But what happens, or what's happened in the previous one, and what is a good indicator, something that we can actually look at over time and use to kind of forecast what we can expect, is that none of the drawdowns were below the 786. They didn't close below the 786 until the actual bear market started. So if we use an example over here, so this was January until March. So you can see here, right, from the low to the top, it gets tapped on 3 occasions, but it does not close below it. Only closes below the 618 just a little bit. So you can use that as an example. Perhaps we can use this as an example as well, from this low to the high. Again, right, this is not really a proper high, so we can't really use this, but you can see, you know, although it smashes through the 786 in terms of a wick, it does not proceed to close below that. Now, if we use the next example of this low to this high, same story, right? Or similar story. The 618 is tapped perfectly, but it doesn't even get close to closing below. So the 618 is the most popular level that Bitcoin goes towards. And then the next one is the one that turns into the start of the bear market. So you can see here, now of course it closes below, but you can see it initially, it gets to the 618, you have some support, gets to the 786, and then it actually closes below right over here. And that's the first time it's happened during that 2017 bull run, so make a note of that. And what we're seeing right now is we're seeing a tap of that 786. And now, of course, it could carry on to kind of for it to carry on tapping it throughout the week, but it's unlikely to actually break below it. So just bear that in mind, that if it goes below 48,000, then that's when the alarm bells should start to ring. The only other thing that I could see, which could be the case, is if this is the actual Fibonacci in play from from this low till this high, so we'll delete the other one. If this is actually the Fibonacci in play, then we may have some more to go all the way down to 37 or 41. But I think it's the first one that's the actual, it's actually this Fibonacci, which is the more important one at the moment. So yeah, just bear that in mind going forward. Don't be too worried just yet during this correction. This is very routine. It happens all the time throughout the bull run. It's never going to be a straight road up. It's going to be up, down, up, down, up, down. But again, this is why I want to stress this point of taking profits when times are good. I always take profits when times are good. You know, I've made some videos about taking profit and also some taking profit points for different cryptocurrencies. But that's why it's important. Take profit, park it in some stable coins, and then you can use it right now to buy the dip. So again, this point of taking profit is constantly validated. So let's move over to Ethereum. So here is an example of some profit taking targets. You know, I already took a little bit of profit around 2,500 or just the top of this, and only took 10% this time. However, this is why it's important, because of taking profit. So, you know, although Ethereum has not corrected as much as Bitcoin, it's still liable. It's still going to correct, you know, major ways. Like for example, this point, massive correction. You have to take profits. It's so important. But let's look at the charts. Let's look at this chart in particular. I'll be very honest. It's a very odd analysis. You can see, of course, a stairway up to heaven, but there's a lot of volatility going on, and which leads me to believe that because there's so much volatility, it could go either way. Now, it could explode to the upside as we just saw, carry on going higher, or it could explode to the downside and retest the $1,900 level, or even below down to 1,600. There is actually a trend line in play right here. These two have now connected, so potentially it could follow this going forward. But for sure, still the target for Ethereum, whether it corrects now or carries on going up, the target is for sure. The next one is 2,800. If I look at my price, my take profit, I've got another one set just above 3,000. It's going to reach it eventually. I think for this year, Ethereum could reach 5,000, and that's, I would say that's going away from a conservative target, but it's within the realms and possibilities. So that's my North Star in terms of where I think Ethereum could reach. But definitely 3,000 to 4,500, it's definitely going to do. So that's why I've got some profit taking targets around those levels. So I just wanted to make a quick video about the state of the market, shed some light, give my analysis, what I think is happening and what's going to happen going forward. As I said, I think the correction there could be some more left in the tank. Normally what happens is the correction will carry on until basically the weak hands have all given up their stake. It'll go a little bit further than what you think it will go, and then it'll start to turn around. So keep your hands strong, stay in the market, and just keep hodling, keep buying those dips. Of course, that's my unsolicited, unprofessional advice, so do with that what you want. And that'll be the end of this video. Hopefully you got some value from that, and see you in the next video. Peace.